Want more dream clients in your business? And how would you feel by having a constant stream of ideal leads knocking on your door looking to do business with you? And finally, do you want more profit and fun in your business? I mean, kind of like, what's the point of doing all this kind of stuff if we're not at least having some fun during the process, right? If you said yes to all of those things, you might be in the right place. Hey, I'm Will Wang, I'm an investor, I'm a founder, and I've grown a bootstrap marketing agency to 7 figures over the past 6 years. So if you want more growth, if you want more profit, if you want a bit more fun, stick around. There's a whole bunch of videos all over the page, probably up here, down here, wherever the video gods put the content, and hopefully I'll see you on one of our other videos. Cheers.
Today, we're going to jump straight into it. This is the copy that's done from friend Megan, and I'm going to go through and review a couple of pages. So Megan's got this one page here, which is her personal page, and then a second page here, which is like a newsletter page. So we're going to come through and run through both really quickly and share some ideas around, you know, what she's doing really, really well, a few things she can test to see if there's any improvement, and any other things that stand out to me here. So let's jump straight into it. Now, this is Megan's main site. And first of all, one of the things I look at when I do copy reviews is I scroll through the page without even reading a single word of copy, just to see what it's like, you know, how the page is laid out. Is it easy on the eyes, easy to read? And this is actually a really, really well designed page. So I'm not a designer, I don't do graphics and all that kind of stuff, but the way a page looks is actually really important nowadays when it comes to conversions. So really like the white space, really like how everything's put together really cleanly. I really like that, you know, there's just a few call to actions and a few angles that she's trying to go for here, and it doesn't confuse what we're trying to do. So I really like this. This is literally a landing page, right? And it's really, really good because it doesn't distract people from going to different areas. It's literally, hey, either give me your email or, well, give me your email, right? Or work with me. So let's get into the copy side of it. First of all, I really like the benefit statement. Like, it's a super, super strong statement. So the fact that you can eliminate 80% of the tasks that you hate in 7 days, it's a very specific result in a very specific amount of time, which is always awesome. And then the kicker, or the power word that you've got in here, is guaranteed. So that implies that you're going to get some kind of result, you know, just by taking the next step. So this sub headline is really good. Stop being a slave to to-do list, save time and make money faster. Make the 5-step focused roadmap. This is really good. This is all benefit statement. And also it leaves enough curiosity here where I want to know, like, what is the roadmap? Like, what is it that we can do, right? So it talks about a lot of the cool benefits, a lot of great, you know, things that people want to achieve without really going into too much detail and spoiling the curiosity here. And again, coming back to the design element, you know, great photo, smiling at the camera, which is really engaging for people reading through this. And the couch, the photo kind of, you know, works really well with the background. So that is awesome. And this is all above the fold, right? So it looks really good above the fold. And this other sentence here I really like as well. So automated systems is something that all business owners obviously want. The magic fairy dust. So this shows personality, which is great, and it ties in really nicely with her branding and her colors as well. That help you scale. Faster. So obviously stuff that all business owner wants, and I think just by reading it, she's really calling out her audience. So really good copy on the first little bit here. Now, speaking about good copy, we keep going through and keep finding really great copy. So save 10 to 15 hours of time every week. Again, amazing copy calling out a set benefit, right? A specific benefit, which is always really good. And then the copy here goes into the emotional side, like the emotive psychographic side in terms of breaking down what people are feeling. So if you're overwhelmed, stressed out, tired of being a slave to your business, those are all things that busy and stressed out business owners obviously are feeling. So I really like this. I think it calls out the right people. Again, the graphics are colorful. The branding is really nice on it. There's only 3 colors being used here, but the colors kind of work really nicely together. Again, very good copy, right? All about not doing stuff that she hates or not doing stuff that you hate, and being able to focus on what you love best. And then a lot of the copy is, you know, all benefit driven here, which I think is really great. Now, we get into her story bit here. And I think there's a lot of social proof, right? 7-figure entrepreneur with ADHD, super strong social proof, super strong specific social proof. So for example, I use a 7-figure thing very strategically, but I really like how Meghan uses that and also layers on the ADHD thing on top of it. And obviously, you know, a lot of what we do as copywriters is pulling out a story, figuring out a very unique angle in your take on the market. And I think this is actually a really cool way of doing that. So I really like this social proof element here. I really like the uniqueness that Meghan brings to it. Again, the 20 years is great, and Growth Hacker, but I think what's most impressive is this second part of the statement, right? The fact that she helps a client scale to 6 and 7 figures. She goes a little bit more specifically into helping women living with ADHD to build their businesses. So, and then obviously she brings more of her story and her personal side of it to it on here as well. Being a mother, you know, having being on the spectrum, she's pulling all of that in, which is great. And, you know, really, really good. So the only thing I would say is the one thing I picked up from here is that in this copy, Meghan talks about helping women living with ADHD. But on the social proof, when she got testimonials, she's got Wayne on here, which, I mean, you know, if you think about most websites, they evolve over time, businesses evolve over time. So it could just be a function that the marketing messages change, and, you know, she now serves all business owners versus just mom entrepreneurs with autism or ADHD, or it could be the other way around. Again, one of those evolving things, right? So that was one thing I would potentially tighten up. So if you are going only after a small demographic, have that across your entire site. But besides from that, I do like the way that she's broken up her services essentially into 3 different categories, and it's kind of different pricing. Now, there's one bit on here which is pricing starting at $3,000. Sometimes I'm a fan of putting pricing on websites if you're really, really busy and you don't have that much capacity for new leads. Sometimes if you do want more leads, it can turn people away because they haven't read into it enough yet, or they don't know you well enough to have the price, right? You kind of throw an objection to a pathway before they figure out what you do. Are you right for them? You kind of put that price objection in the way first. So I'll just probably test it depending on how busy she is. So if she is really, really busy, hey, that's cool. Why don't we just leave it on there? If she is actually not that busy, I might test taking it off and just driving straight through to calendar. So this here, as we can see, I'm straight for calendar, which is okay. It's just a booking form to have a sales conversation with Meghan. So that's really, really good. Like, there's not a lot I would change on here, right? At all. I think this is really well written copy, really well designed, speaks to the audience, a lot of benefit points, a lot of great copy points. I think the only part is quite far down the page. So it's not even a huge deal. It's more about tightening up on, you know, exactly who it is that she serves in terms of psychographics and demographics. Now, let's jump onto the second page here. So this is the Digital Unicorns, which is Meghan's newsletter, I think it is, because technology is only good when it works. I really like this call out on the headline as well. Only thing is, depending on the font, I might, you know, potentially test a different color to the text. I mean, it looks okay as it is, but potentially blue on blue can blend in a little bit. So that's the only thing I would test. Well, one thing I test first and foremost. On live training, they can integrate into the business today. There's even a free option. So I like this part. Join our community to get actionable tech tips and live training. They can integrate into their business today. So I'll potentially, I really like this one. No change on the first bit. The second one, integrate into their business today. If I was to test anything, I'd actually flip it to a benefit statement. So something like small business owners and entrepreneurs join our community to get actionable tips that saves them 10 to 15 hours of work per week and removes the tech headaches, or something like that, right? Some kind of more obvious benefit statement here, but even then, this is still quite good. Now, this one here, there's even a free option. I think on here, it implies that most options are actually paid. So if we click through to here, yep, that's what it is. It's a paid membership, paid monthly membership. And so I would, and then there's a pop-up for a free trial. I would look at it and think about potentially, you know, where they're at in their journey. Like, is this a landing page that people come through once they're quite familiar with the brand? If so, I think that pricing is okay to have on here. Otherwise, people might look at it and go, well, hang on, I don't really know like, everything on the landing page here, sales page here, is starting with the price first. So you may not be ready to commit just by clicking through and reading this on here, right? I think there might be a little bit on here that it depends on how warm the traffic is to if I actually do this or not. Otherwise, you could hide it behind a longer sales page or a video, and also a smaller trial off the front end. So that's potentially, it's not really copy, but it's more around offer and how you position the offer as you go to the level of traffic warmth. So that's one thing to potentially look at. But that being said, I'm a big fan of newsletters. We're gearing up everything that we do and aiming towards having a newsletter as well. So that is definitely a good play here. Now, let's look at the main copy on here. What do we get? Learn live from a 7-figure tech expert who's been there, done that. Great. So one thing I would potentially test is again, a benefit headline here, because tech experts, even though I'm in tech, I've written copy for tech people as well. And I know that tech can be seen as this daunting kind of thing. So when you put things like tech expert on here, it could actually scare some of the audience into thinking, well, I'm not a tech expert. Do I need to be super tech to follow along? Like, I don't know if this is right for us. So I'll potentially test different messaging around making it easier for business people to get tech advice, right? So it's kind of like your friendly neighborhood tech expert that's here to help make business easier for you. So I think that could potentially be something to test. If you're using tech expert and the angle is to give them information to help them with their tech, I don't know how relevant the 7-figure thing is on here, because that's social proof we typically use if we're trying to sell biz op or business coaching services versus just straight tech information. So this bit here, I definitely split test quite a bit just to see if it does anything in terms of conversion rates. Building technology system for $1 billion lifestyle brand to small. Okay, so with the copy here, I would think about, I get that it's all about the range of businesses that Meghan's worked with. Although I tend to find that when we've done this in the past, it's kind of been a little bit missed, because smaller business owners, for example, look at the $1 billion lifestyle brand and go, well, that's not me, no way. And then they think, well, do you actually, this is talking about us. They said, do you understand what a smaller business is compared to the bigger clients you've got? And I think sometimes the messaging gets a little bit mixed up. And you've got to ask, well, who are we trying to attract here? And would $1 billion or bigger companies get turned off by the idea of joining a community with smaller businesses? Or, if it's not the business owner, for example. So that's one thing I'd probably test. I think the clarity in terms of who the community is for, I think is quite important. And so that could really lend itself well to all the other copy that we do. About scaling, all about you and scaling your business faster. Great. So this obviously then turns back into talking about founders. So potentially we can start with this, right? Pull this section up here to have founders understand we're talking about them. And then later on down below, we can then layer in social proof. We're talking about the range of businesses we work with and why it's relevant for small businesses. So that is potentially something to test. Your place to learn. So I think we need more benefits in here. So I think Meghan does a really good job with the benefits on her main site. I'll pull some of that into this page here and really talking about taking tech off their hands, making it more accessible, making it easier. I think that kind of play could actually be quite good in terms of a sales page on here. And then this is kind of the features, right? This is kind of features. So I'll stack some more benefits up top before we go into the features on here. This is getting into what they actually get in terms of the videos and Ask Me Anythings. I really like the colors and the graphics on here. The pictures are quirky and funny, and I think they're awesome and attention grabbing. So this is all really cool stuff. With Scatterbrain, I get the Scatterbrain thing. I think it's going to appeal to certain people, I think. So that would be interesting, testing if Scatterbrain is languaging that we want to be using on the page here, because other people might be like, look, I'm just busy. I'm not Scatterbrain. I'm just busy. But some people might read it and go, yeah, that's absolutely me. So that's kind of an interesting call out. I wonder how that'll go. And obviously there's ways to test that. But technology training, yeah. more sustainably. Yep, this is obviously a message about growing, right, sustainably. So this is cool. Risk-free. So generally when there's any risk-free statements, I'd kind of like to explain what that all means. Like there's a refund guarantee, for example, whereas this goes into about getting all the past things, again, a feature call out. So again, I'm kind of just nitpicking here because the copy is actually quite good, but I think there's a lot that can be split tested, or a lot more, I should say, on this page in terms of the order of where copy goes, in terms of the layering and the copy or the audience that we're trying to target into. I think there's a few things on here that we can really split test to see if it lifts the conversion of this page or not. But again, it also depends on the traffic warmth of people hitting this page. But overall, I think Meghan's done an awesome job with her copy, especially on her personal page. But also, I think on this page, the copy is still really, really good. Like, don't get me wrong. And I am definitely just picking little bits and pieces to nitpick. I think she's done an awesome job with coffee too, but copy. I think I need a coffee. But it's also good to see the web page like it is. And I think this page, if it's warm traffic, it should convert quite well. So anyway, that's the copy review for today. Again, I love doing this kind of copy stuff. Copy is what I geek out about. It's what I love diving into. So if you have any copy you want me to review and go into, please let me know in the description or the email reply or whatever, in the comments, I should say, not description. Let me know in the comments below if this is on socials or YouTube. If you're seeing this from my email newsletter, please hit reply. Let me know if you have anything you want me to review. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll catch you on our next videos. See you then.
Now imagine this, you're on the most perfect holiday ever. You're driving through the picturesque countryside of New Zealand. You've got the mountains and the lake on one side and clouds on the other side. You're feeling a little bit hungry, so you pull over to a cart on the side of the road and pick up the best looking apples you've ever seen. Now, what do you see at the Apple store? You see an honesty box asking you to pay for however many apples you've taken. And kind of random, but why am I saying this story to you? Well, this channel is kind of like that honesty box. So we do our very best to put the best value content and ideas and strategies out there so you can go and use them to grow your business. The only thing we ask in return, i.e. the honesty box, is that you subscribe and like the channel so it gets out to more people and can help more people grow their businesses and have more of an impact. So thanks so much for watching this video. There's probably a whole bunch of other videos around here somewhere, but remember, like and subscribe, and muchas gracias. Thanks team, bye.